don't think you know anything about Harry Styles.
Our communities.
Don't talk about it again, so I tell y'all, I told y'all so.
Our culture.
I am a Sam Smith. I will be Sam's representative.
Our stories.
It's also not a requirement for you to agree our opinions.
This is the Culture Report.
Welcome to another Culture Report, but most importantly, Happy Pride. This week, in addition to celebrating Pride, we discussed the lack of community trust in police after an 11-year-old boy was shot in the chest after calling them for help, and the presence law enforcement should or shouldn't have in schools. But first, let's get back into Pride. Thursday marks the start of Pride. It's a month full of celebration, advocacy, and reflection, and it's also a time that is near to my heart and identity. So this month, we want to share stories, me and Jamol's included, of our journeys and the journeys of other queer people and how they uniquely navigate their identities. This year has seen a huge amount of anti-LGBTQ plus legislation and various controversies and backlash to inclusivity. But this community is and always has been resilient. So, just to open it up, how do y'all celebrate Pride? Maybe to Jamol.
Yeah. Me? Oh, well, I mean,
how do you celebrate Pride?
Celebrating Pride was 2012. I would never miss a Pride parade, Pride celebration. I would, not in 2012, because I couldn't go to the club in 2012. I was a child. However, now, I love to go out. Like, I like to get my queer community together, go out, enjoy. It's really hard to do it these days because, you know, those places are under attack. But, you know, I try my best to never miss a Pride, just to really be out loud and proud about who we are. And yeah.
I love it.
Like, how do y'all like show up as an ally, I guess, during Pride Month?
My friends usually have an annual party, so I never miss that. So it's so fun because they're just, you know, celebrating.
Yeah.
But, you know, just year round, supporting legislation that, you know, supports LGBTQ community and
That part.
Yeah, just being an ally. Yeah.
Just always showing up for you guys, you know? I feel like that's the most important part of being an ally. It's just showing up, listening, being there for you guys when you need it. I feel like, especially in these days and age, no one's listening to you guys. So I think that's one of the most important things about being an ally.
Yeah, we talk about allyship, but there's also so much division still going out there and hatred and anti-LGBTQ rhetoric that's happening. Like in Uganda, they just passed an anti-homosexuality bill, and the penalty for that is death. And like, even though there's so much that we're facing in this country, in terms of like the things and the hate that we're dealing with, I can't imagine living in a place and like being who I am is equal to like, that means that I could die just for being gay.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I don't take it for granted. Like, I mean, I know we have a lot of issues, a lot of issues here, but I wouldn't rather live anywhere else.
Yeah.
I always tell people all the time, like, well, they love to say, if I complain about the country or anything that's going on, they say, oh, well, move. And I'm like, well, no, if you have an issue with your house, if something's happening in the place you live, you want to get it fixed. You don't want to just move to a different house. Yeah. Who has the time for that? Who has the money for that?
Right.
So I really want to see America, you know, step up and be the great place that I know it can be.
Awesome. Well, we want to invite you to join the conversation and share your stories with us. So you can email us at theculturereport@9news.com and just share with us your stories about Pride and what it means to be a part of the LGBTQ plus community.
All right. And when Pride season begins, Pride campaigns are quick to follow, but sadly, toxic and queerphobic criticism is never far behind. That's definitely been the case over the past few years, as LGBTQ plus culture wars have been kicked into overdrive. Now, we've seen it very prevalently with Bud Light after they gifted trans influencer Dylan Mulvaney a can of beer with her face on it. Self-proclaimed true Americans boycotted and the brand's sales dipped. Now, Senator Ted Cruz is proposing a federal investigation into Anheuser-Busch and Mulvaney for what he believes is marketing alcohol to children.
And the foolishness continues as controversy brews over Target's new Pride merch collection, which has been the target of a new wave of conservative media outrage after a video falsely claimed that tuck-friendly bathing suits were being marketed to kids. The retailer has since decided to remove certain items from the collection, but said that they are still committed to the LGBTQ plus community.
Adidas also just launched their 2023 Pride collection, and the company is getting a lot of backlash. Some people are mad about the person chosen to model a one piece bathing suit. They are calling out the company, saying they are, quote, erasing women. Adidas has not responded, but on the company's website, it states that that collection is a celebration of self-expression, and the swimsuit is advertised under both the men's and women's section.
And North Face is also starting to feel the heat over its latest Pride campaign. In an Instagram post, drag performer Patty Gonia promoted the brand's Summer of Pride campaign, which aims to make outdoor spaces more accessible to diverse communities that may not always feel welcome. Republican Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene is calling for a boycott of the popular brand, accusing it of, quote, grooming our children. North Face defended its campaign when asked to comment about the backlash.
Everybody turns into Whitney Houston all of a sudden when anytime queer people, I believe it. Everybody wants to sit here and march through the trying to protect the kids. It's always the kids. Kids get, which I think, of course, kids should be protected, but not from this.
Yeah, actually, it's like doing the opposite. I feel like when you remove all, like, or you're advocating against all this inclusivity of queer merch and celebrating Pride, I actually feel like that harms children because it makes them scared to come out. Some of y'all kids are gay. Like, some of y'all kids are trans, some of y'all kids are non-binary. And being a type of person or a parent that actively and vocalizes a hatred for a community, I can't imagine being in a household like that. And like, to me, that's harmful to children.
I don't, I, like you said, grooming children. I don't know why they just jumped to children. I don't know what about that was targeted towards children.
Because it was an adult bathing suit, like, if we're going to be real. It was an adult bathing suit.
But I don't know where this
North Face.
Yeah, and I don't know where it's coming from. It's not like it's something new. A lot of companies have been, trying to be supportive of the LGBTQ community. So I don't know, what is it? Is it the rhetoric around it?
Something over the past few years shifted.
If we go back to 2016, there was a certain person in political power that I feel stoked the flames of hatred. And over these past few years, we've seen that in various ways, January 6th, all that kind of stuff. And I think now we're just seeing people very comfortably express their hatred.
Because we've always seen this isn't new. Of course, people, anytime someone has a Pride collection, they have this backlash. But like, not like this. They're coming.
This is like every day.
It's
It's like someone's getting mad about a Pride collection. It's the Pride collection. That's what I don't understand.
And it's troubling too because it's like a different way of backlash too. Now they're like personally like attacking people. Like I know like Mulvaney, that one, the people in marketing were like getting, all this backlash, some of them death threats, and it's just scary the way it's like moving in that direction.
I don't think anyone should be forced. I know a lot of people say like they're forcing this on us, and I agree. We should not be forcing anything onto anyone. But good thing that I did not go into Target, steal your pocketbook. Hey, can I borrow this pocketbook? And purchase this Pride.
Just don't buy it.
Just don't buy it.
You don't want it.
About Christmas.
Yeah, I mean, we sell in December. There's Christmas stuff everywhere. You have the music, you have the merchandise. Not everyone celebrates
What about
Christmas.
people that aren't religious?
You go in the store, there's alcohol. Are you trying to sell it to everyone?
Right.
Yeah, NPR did say that the younger generations are closely paying attention to like companies that are like promoting LGBTQ and being authentic in the way they like do their campaigns. So it's important that it's not just this month. That they're watching them closely, all these companies. So that's why when I see like North Face standing behind it, like it just makes them look more authentic.
Like their heart's in the right place. Because like once they start pulling that stuff, I'm like, oh, okay, you're in it for the buck.
Yeah, and not just for the month of June to get that. Yeah,
absolutely.
Well, we're thankful for the brands that are standing with our community.
Exactly. All right, and we're going to go ahead and move on. We want to give a quick update on a story we did last month. The teen who was shot after mistakenly ringing the wrong doorbell just made his first public appearance since the shooting. Ralph Yarl walked at a brain injury awareness event in Kansas City. He suffered from a traumatic brain injury when he was shot back in April. Yarl's mother told the Associated Press that her son is still dealing with migraines and issues with his balance. She added that he is also struggling with emotional and mood changes and the trauma of the shooting.
Right, and the people who are supposed to protect and serve are far too often the cause of pain and panic. Shootings like the one Ralph Yarl was involved in have caused a lot of people to question their faith in trusting police. So last week, an 11-year-old boy in Mississippi was hospitalized after he was shot by a police officer. Attorneys say the boy's mom asked him to call 911 because of a domestic disturbance. She said an officer came into the home with his gun drawn, asked anyone else inside the house to come outside, and then shot the boy in the chest when he came around the corner. The boy survived and is recovering at home. His family is calling for the officer to be fired and charged.
And the family of a 22-year-old man who was fatally shot by police last year has received a $19 million payout, making it the largest police settlement in Colorado history. Christian Glass called 911 after his car got stuck on a road last June. He appeared to have been experiencing a mental health crisis. Officers responded, and 70 minutes later, Glass was shot and killed. Since the settlement, 3 out of the 4 agencies that responded have issued apologies.
And 3 years ago, George Floyd, a 46-year-old black man, was killed by police after being suspected of using counterfeit money. Following his arrest, Floyd was placed on the ground where an officer kneeled on his neck for over 8 minutes. His last words, "I can't breathe," became a rallying cry for people across the world who took to the streets to protest police brutality.
So that was 3 years ago. It's been almost 3 years to the day. And I know when this happened, there was a lot of talk about police reform, or, oh, we're going to go put people through trainings or sensitivity training or de-escalation. And to see that this stuff is still happening regularly, like, what's going on?
Yeah, it doesn't feel like a lot has changed.
I don't think anything's changed. I know like a few things, like I know some states are required to wear like body cameras when they respond to certain things, and I know like the chokehold, like that's not allowed anymore after the George Floyd, but I think that's really all I've really seen that's changed, like big things.
Nothing meaningful.
Yeah.
Well,
I was just gonna say, like with this huge settlement that Colorado like sent out, I know like some of the non-monetary like promises they made to the family, you know, might make other departments like follow in their footsteps, like maybe, you know, more training, like a crisis team that they're going to have for this particular, you know, after this particular case, might be something that they want to implement in other, you know, police departments or agencies. But it's just sad to see that it comes to this for them to implement those.
And we also kind of see like the differences between this case and how race can or cannot play a part in some of these cases. Like when we see with Christian Glass, like race obviously wasn't a factor in that, as it was with George Floyd, or like other instances like where we see with Breonna Taylor, or well, even the 11-year-old boy, I believe that officer was black.
Yeah,
I mean, we have Tyree Nichols we talked about at the beginning of this year, you know?
Right, exactly.
That was also something.
Yeah.
So it's definitely an issue. Like race is an element of it, but I think the overall issue is just like police like control. I feel like on a human level, it's really hard. And I want to hear from you guys, like, has your trust in police shifted? And I know we want to, because those are the people, like, that's who you call. If you can't get your family, friends, whatever, police are, like, that's someone you should be able to call no matter who you are, no matter your race, your sexuality, political affiliation. They're supposed to be with you on your side trying to help.
I'm terrified of police, terrified. Like even like maybe like a month ago, I got pulled over because one of my temporary tags had expired and I forgot. And got pulled over, and there was two officers, and they flanked my car, and I literally thought I was about to pass out. Like, just like their presence, like, was enough to like make me physically ill. So like, no, I probably would not.
I think a lot of people are still afraid. I mean, we're still seeing these stories every other month. I mean, it's not being as talked about as much as George Floyd, but it's still happening, you know?
Right.
I mean, we've talked about some of these shootings on the show, you know, and it's unfortunate, but it's still happening. So what needs to change? Why hasn't that change come? It's been 3 years since George Floyd.
Yeah.
And they should be, you know, it should be a serve and protect kind of situation, and we should be able to trust them. But yeah, reading all these stories and, you know, watching it keep happening does definitely make you not trust them. Yeah.
I'm curious what it'll take, because like with the Christian Glass settlement, that was $19 million. So I was thinking like maybe like make their pockets hurt a little bit, maybe.
But there was even so many other nuances to that settlement that they had to like I think they had to issue an apology, even though their apology was like, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
It's real dry. But there was other stuff like I think they have to showcase his art or something like that. It's so much other that I think that those parts of the settlement will help to create meaningful change.
Like, yeah, virtual trainings, and the family gets to talk to like the new recruits. I mean, it's a lot of things that they put after that and put into place.
Just real quick, just imagining how they feel, because I don't know, as parents, I know plenty of parents teach their kids, like, if you're in trouble, call 911. call 911. You're advising your kids to do that. Can you even do that anymore? So that's a whole other aspect that parents have to worry about now.
Right.
All right, and Denver Public Schools released the second draft of its safety plan after hearing feedback from the community. After initially suggesting it would be up to each school, the new draft says placing armed officers on campuses needs to be a district-wide decision. In June 2020, the school board voted to remove school resource officers from all district schools. Then 2 shootings at East High School led to the renewed look at a safety plan, including whether SROs should be brought back. Elsa Bañuelos Lindsay with Movimiento Poder, a Latino advocacy group, says bringing officers into schools would lead to criminalization of students of color.
For BIPOC people, for working class people, having a police officer does not equal safety for us. These are the same officers that criminalize our own people outside of schools. So when we see these same officers in our schools, it doesn't feel safe for us.
Oh, guys, that's hard. That's a really hard one. I actually, I'm in the middle there. I have a child. I couldn't imagine, having them go to school and then being profiled, because they're Latinos and, being searched because of, the way they look. But at the other side, I want them to be safe. So, I do agree with it being a full-on decision whether they're in or out, but I think there should be, just this advocacy group says, more discussion to find a solution. What do you guys think?
I feel like I'm in the middle with you. We have all these school shootings, unfortunately, and it would be nice to just have one of those resource officers there. But then again, like you said, there's people that are being profiled for no reason. So it's what do we do? It's really difficult. I understand both sides, but
I think it's more important to have them there. I think I get it. I was kind of on the middle too, but I just think about situations like Uvalde or any situation where there's been school shootings, and it's it'd be nice to have someone there, that is equipped to handle those situations, because teachers don't. I mean, I'm sure there are trainings, but teachers don't. When it comes down to it, I wouldn't really trust a teacher or a principal or an AP to do that, to protect my kids.
I think I would disagree. I think I'm erring more on the side I don't think they should be in schools. I think there should be some kind of campus protection where officers are monitoring or placed on campus, but not inside the schools.
Okay.
Monitoring the perimeter. Because there's so many instances that I can think about growing up where being profiled at school was a thing. And so that affects children learning in their learning environments, which I think is also harmful. So I think more so maybe they can have this presence on the perimeter of the school, but I think maybe in the school that shouldn't be a thing.
Yeah.
I say limited power. I agree with that. Limited power. You can't just be stopping somebody in the hallway just because you're just because you feel a little suspicious.
Yeah, go outside, stay outside
when necessary.
Yeah.
But then that tells you it's important to have these officers interact with kids more, not just when they're getting arrested or in trouble. There should be a more trusting relationship between these cops and kids. I don't know what that would look like,
There's
but
too much history there to start trying to do that in schools. I think that we're a long ways, especially with Black people, from having a trusting relationship with any law enforcement, especially police. So I don't think that's going to change by or it's going to change by having them in schools. So I think we're a little past that. Yeah.
I will definitely be following, because the final draft is coming. So that one, I believe, this afternoon. So we'll see where that goes. Yeah. And we want to give you an update on the story we did 2 weeks ago. The student from Colorado that was barred from wearing a sash with flags of Mexico and the U.S. to her high school graduation did so anyway. After she was told she couldn't wear the flag, she saw a court order against the school, but a federal judge ruled that the ban was legal. Naomi says she was standing up for what she believes in. No one tried to stop her from receiving her diploma.
Love it.
The loss we carry, a sea we must wade. We've braved the belly of the beast.
And remember that moment from President Biden's 2021 swearing in? Well, that poem, The Hills We Climb, written by Amanda Gorman, has partially been restricted at a Florida school. This comes after a parent complained about some of the content in the book. The mom claimed the book is not educational, has indirect hate messages. After a review from the school committee, they decided to move that book into a middle school section of the library to restrict younger students. So, I feel like we're seeing this a lot now. I mean, a few weeks ago we were talking about book bans, and now one parent complains about a book. Now it's restricted.
That's right. One complaint, and they got that to be
It's
moved.
not banned, but it's restricted, which is weird to me.
Well, that parent, I think their name was Daily Salinas. It has a history of being problematic. She was associated with a lot of white supremacy groups, the Proud Boys, and I believed from an article I read in the Miami Herald that she also was responsible for advocating for 4 other black literature and other black books to be banned successfully in Florida. So I think this is also what happens when we fuel that like hatred in Florida, like what we see what's going on with like censoring black literature and black history. There's people like this that feel more empowered to go out and ban those kind of things. She even posted, I think, a slew of anti-Semitic Facebook comments. So it's crazy.
Just at the root of it, I don't understand the concern. At least I don't
think it's not a concern. It's racism. I don't think it's a concern. It's racism. You don't want your children to be exposed to black people. I also think it's a thing how other people see black people. They're removing our power by removing our literature. I think so much of our power is in our stories and in our words. And to remove that from us, I think takes something from our community. So to me, it's just plain racism.
Yeah, and Amanda even said she tweeted out when this all happened, she was like, this is robbing children of their chance to find their voices through literature.
Exactly.
I mean, she read this years ago at the swearing in. Why is it a problem now? Like, I don't understand. And she said, like, it's in front of like the whole world that happened. Nothing was said about it. Everyone was praising her back then. Now it's a problem? I don't understand.
Yeah, and you read it. I was just like, I'm not sure I'm finding what the issue is with it. I mean,
I can understand. You were saying something, I interrupted you, I'm sorry.
Oh, nothing. I was just saying the poem, like that, well, the part of the poem that was highlighted, it was just about like, one, overcoming, like you said, coming from the belly of the beast. Like we've been through so much as a people and just coming out on the other end and being able to use our voices. And I don't think that's something to censor. So I feel like it's kind of ironic that they're trying to censor it when that's exactly the opposite of it's exactly what the poem's about. So it's poetic in a way.
Okay, we'll be paying attention to this more.
For sure.
I just want to know more about them.
Ariel, don't!
Guess what Ariel did, and did it well. Disney's live-action Little Mermaid finally swam into theaters this weekend, and people showed up and showed out, myself included, because it definitely made quite a splash in the box office, making over $119 million in the U.S. alone in its opening weekend. But it looks like there were some haters that did not want to be a part of Halle Bailey's world. So Rotten Tomatoes and IMDb say they've been dealing with review bombing, which is when people intentionally leave a load of bad reviews of the film, typically without even seeing it. In this case, it's likely because of the race swapping of Ariel, and a complaint that has been ongoing since Halle was cast as Ariel. See, I'm sorry, she's so good. She really enticed me with that role. I think she's Ariel. One, I want to shout out. It was great. I saw it.
Jamol saw it
we saw it in
together.
IMAX. At the beginning, we
We're like, whoa.
had a little motion sickness, but it was so great. Like Halle's performance was stunning. So I want to highlight that first. It really was amazing. And
I can't wait to see. I know I don't go to movie theaters, so I have to wait to hit streaming.
Yeah, I hate Disney live actions, but this one was really good. I'm like, I would see it again.
you know why I want to go see it now? And I'm surprised he didn't get any backlash. The Merfather, Javier Bardem. Oh my goodness. I am a fan, and he is.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, he's handsome. So I mean, I don't understand all this backlash. I think it should be more about like how an actress just does that role. And from what I've heard, she's done an amazing job. So I hate that it's based on race.
I try to ignore those kind of things, like I try to ignore the hatred from it, but it reminds me of when Black Panther came out and so many black people and people of color just kept going back to see it again and seeing it again, and just like how important and moving it was. So I really want to go see it, but I have
Disney also, like Disney World also has like Ariel, the black one. It's just seeing the kids, like their reaction.
Like in the park?
Yes, in the park. Disney World, Disneyland, they all have her out now, and I'm like, this is why it matters.
It
Your
really
representation matters.
Yeah.
And just some of the same people who were mad about Ariel being recast They really were. Everybody was super excited to get Queen Latifah or Lizzo or somebody to play Ursula, a black person to play Ursula. So that was just something I noticed online. They were fine with, casting Ursula as a black person. But anyway, irrelevant. Great job, Hallie. We love it. I'll be seeing it a third and fourth time.
Love it.
Well, let's hop into this week's good news. So Mexico just issued its first non-binary passport to Jesus Bonilla, a local activist who was presented the passport during a ceremony attended by a number of Mexican legislators. This is a great step towards inclusivity, but hopefully Hertz and Spirit Airlines don't mess up their travel plans when they see their passport.
All right, and Thursday is the first night of the NBA Finals. The Denver Nuggets and the Miami Heat will face off in Denver for game number 1. This will be the first time the Denver Nuggets have ever played in the NBA Final. The game starts at 6:30 on ABC. Go Nuggets!
And the upcoming Barbie movie will feature a diverse and inclusive cast. Yes, I am late to the party, guys.
Yeah.
Including a dose of Latino talent that will be in the movie. The latest trailer lets us catch a glimpse of America Ferrera and Ariana Greenblatt joining Margot Robbie. Other Barbie cast members include Issa Rae and Simu Liu. The soundtrack will also include Colombian singer Karol G, Ice Spice, and Nicki Minaj. Barbie will hit theaters July 21st.
Come on, Nicki.
Right. And I'm sorry, but not really sorry. I know we have to mention our weekly dose of Beyonce. Blue Ivy joined her mom, Beyonce, on stage for her show in Paris. Actually, she's done like 2 shows now for like joining, and she's like dancing with the dancers. Everybody's like rooting her on. Like
So
this is
cute.
amazing to see. The first time we saw her join her on stage was in Dubai. And I guess she said, yeah, let's make that a regular thing.
I love it.
So cute. I love the video.
I know, she's like passing on the crown. And like you can see her in the background just like watching her go.
It's like bring your child to work.
Yeah.
I love it.
With your mama's Beyonce, which is iconic.
imagine.
I can't imagine. But yeah, that was a really cool moment to see.
The interview was lit up. Also, I mean, not the interview. The internet was lit up when I saw that. And you ketchup mustard.
Nobody told me America
Barbie
Ferrera was
trailer.
there, and then I saw the latest trailer, and I was like, "Oh my God, I have
Barbie?
to see for Barbie." I was so excited. So sorry I was late to the party, but I loved it. So excited to see it.
Well, we want you to invite you to join the conversation. So email us at culturereport@9news.com. Let us know what good news you're seeing.
All right, thanks for joining this episode of the Culture Report. We'll be back to continue the conversation next Thursday, right here on 9 News Plus and 9news.com.